Welcome to Outrage Astrology. My name's Mike,
And I'm Brittany.
where we talk about interesting astrological subjects, and sometimes we might piss you off. We don't do a lot of fancy video recording, video editing, but what we do have to offer y'all guys is hard-hitting, useful, no bullshit information on astrology and how it's applicable in everyday life.
And I'm hiding because Mike insulted me, and so now I'm self-conscious.
I said she had lunch lady arms.
He said I had lunch lady arms. He did.
Yeah, and then you're like,
I don't.
Okay.
But maybe I do. I don't know.
Brittany, what are we talking about today? I think it's a badass topic, actually.
We're talking about how to fire up somebody's engines based on their Venus sign.
We're talking about Venus. And when you know somebody's Venus, be it man or woman, that gives you a lot of insight into what they like and how they operate on a romantic level. That's like the key to somebody's heart. I mean, granted, there's more to it. You gotta look at everything. But Venus is like, it's the relationship planet. It's how you love, how you form partnerships, sort of. And we'll go into that.
Sort of, we think maybe.
So what is Venus, Brittany?
It's a planet.
Well, it's the second planet from the sun. How long does it take to circle go around its entire elliptical?
A little less than 1 year.
Yeah, so Venus takes a little less than 1 year to go around the sun, and Venus traditionally rules Libra and Taurus, and it is specifically related to love, relationships, what you love, what you find attractive. It has to do with your self-esteem. It has to do with your finances as well, because not only is Venus associated with the 7th house, it's also associated with the 2nd house as well. And it's just how you react to everything that's nice.
In Hellenistic astrology, Venus has its joy in the 3rd house, which is where it is in my chart.
Explain that for us. Why is Venus in its joy in the 3rd house?
You have to look at, like, this is really where we would need to throw up a diagram of how basically the way that they figured out the aspects in Hellenistic or traditional astrology is by like how far they were from the sun, and so they break off, like each one is associated with an aspect, and it's I'd have to go
third house associated
into a whole nother thing. But yeah, it finds its joy in the 3rd house. It's like a bonification. It gives it an extra little boost if it's in the 3rd house.
Well, I have it in the 6th house where it does not. Nothing does well there. But okay, so you can judge somebody's behavior in a relationship based on several factors. Venus is the central component to how somebody behaves in a relationship, what they're looking for. But you also can't just look at Venus. You also have to take into account the 7th house ruler, the moon, especially for men. And Juno as well is really important in terms of, like, relationship compatibility. But Venus in itself is a major component of somebody's personality. It's the feminine side of their personality. And everybody has the eternal masculine and feminine. And in fact, me and Brittany were just talking earlier about the proclivity of, or whether men and women express Venus in the same way. And what did we come to?
I said that kind of together, we said women tend to embody their Venus more. With men, they do, but they also tend to project it out. So they want a woman who meets what their Venus standard is.
Yes.
How do you think that works in same-sex relationships?
I think that there is no difference whatsoever.
Do you think, like, if it's 2 men, do you think they are still looking for those Venus qualities in their partner, or do you think they're looking for more Mars qualities?
Well, first of all, everybody's looking for both, honestly. The thing about same-sex relationships is lesbian women are not men. They're still women. Gay men are not women. They're still men.
Right.
So, I mean, it really isn't going to change much. I honestly think that
But Venus is such a feminine sign. So if you're a gay man.
Well, then when you start talking about things like that, then you begin associating homosexuality with femininity. And that is.
No. Hear me out. No, hear me out. Because gay men are looking for masculine qualities because they find masculinity more attractive, and Venus is such a feminine planet, would they not look for more of the masculine qualities like the Mars energy?
Well, the thing about...
Don't roll your eyes at me.
Well, Venus is more than just femininity, and femininity can mean many different things. It's honestly just the softer side of somebody's personality. That's really all it is. It's the warmer, the sweeter side. And to say that, like, okay, so let's put it this way. If I was a gay man and I had my Venus in Scorpio, would I express it more? Like, would I be running around looking like a dominatrix, like in high heels and like, leather whips and...
Now you're just mocking my ideas.
Because I think they're stupid. No, I don't think they're stupid, but this is my theory on that particular subject. Men and women both express feminine and masculine qualities within their personality at any given point in time. Now, women tend to express the Venus a little bit more, and men tend to express the Mars a little bit more, but they still express the opposite polarity as well. They express both, just in different levels. And depending on the aspects and the house that it's in, a man will express Venus a lot more powerfully if it is very heavily aspected. And that doesn't affect their sexuality per se. Just saying.
Okay.
Can we agree on that? Can we agree that I'm right?
Sure. It's your channel. You can be right.
It's Outrage Astrology is R.
All right, let's get into this.
Okay. Shit. So the thing about Venus is, for those who are new to astrology, the one thing that people are most used to looking at is sign placements. Like, the sun in Aries, moon in, or, the sun in Aries, sun in Taurus. And when they start to look at the extra planets like the moon, the Mars, they tend to look at just the sign placements. Like, oh, he's got a Venus in Aries or whatever. And
yeah, those freaking graph charts where all it does is show the sign placement and the degree that people post all the time. That's not your chart. That's a list of sign placements.
It's the tip of the iceberg. Like, sign placements are important, but when learning astrology and learning true astrology and to understand the big picture, the first thing you need to recognize is that sign placements are just the tip of the iceberg. And then you start getting into aspects and houses, which are ultimately far more important. That doesn't mean sign placements aren't important and they need to be learned. I mean, I'm not going to lie. When I was first learning astrology, I thought it was hella interesting. I wasn't paying attention to all those fucking lines on the natal chart. I was just like, ew, moon in Scorpio, he must be, or she must be intense. Whatever. But that being said...
Back when Mike was 10 and he was learning astrology.
I really was. It was bizarre. So that being said, after my little rant about how sign placements aren't all that important, but they kind of are, we're going to talk about Venus and the signs.
Maybe, sort of, kind of.
What kind of flavor they have.
That's a good word for it, actually. That's a good descriptor. Yeah, it's a flavor.
How it operates, though, is variable.
Yeah. So is it chocolate? Is it a chocolate cake? Is it a chocolate brownie? Is it a chocolate bar?
Yeah, actually, that's kind of good. Because it's still chocolate, but it's in so many different forms and shapes and modifications to said chocolate.
Did you put some caramel on it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're gonna stop. All right, Venus and Aries.
I actually like Venus and Aries.
Cause.
So they run away from me.
Yeah, exactly. Because of your Mars Sag. They'll give you all the space you want.
No. Okay, so Mars and Aries.
Until they're done with you, yeah.
Mars and Aries.
If they're done with you, then they'll give you space, I guess I should say.
Mars and Aries comes on very strong, and if you don't give them something to chase, or you don't give them something that keeps them interested and into it constantly.
Yeah, it's predatory. So if you want to seduce, hey, pencil sharpener.
If you want to seduce a Mars and Aries, pretend like you don't give a fuck about them.
Well,
that's not
yeah.
true.
But then once you've got their interest, you need to be like, let's go on adventures. Let's go hike. Let's go play some football. Let's
Venus and Sagittarius is like that too. Aw.
Can you go get another pencil? Hold on, pause for pencil sharpening. Hold. Done. Okay. That's what it's like when I record episodes when I have 3 little kids running around.
Yeah. So Venus and Aries, they come on really strong. Like really, really, really strong. And once they conquer you and they've gotten what they want, they're done. Unless you're constantly giving them something to chase after.
Yeah, and I think when they're into you, they're also like really demanding too.
Oh yeah, you've seen that.
Have I?
Very demanding. You have.
Okay.
You've witnessed it happen to somebody else. Anyway, so yeah, it's interesting. You really, 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 really got to keep them going, or else they're gonna. And then here's the worst thing about Venus and Aries. This is something I've noticed. What they do is if you break up with them or they break up with you, when they see you being happy and with somebody else, it almost makes them feel like they lost, and then they want you back. They come chase after you all over again because they want to conquer.
Yeah.
If they see you with somebody else after you break up with them, they're like, no, you're mine. I'm going to get you back.
Yes, it's a very predatory kind of placement. Like, it's a game.
Yeah, but so is Venus and Scorpio, just in a much
It's
more...
a different kind of game.
Yeah, no. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so Venus and Taurus.
Honestly, they are really good partners. I mean, the thing is, though, like if you want to seduce one, you need to like wear your really nice clothes and pick them up in a super fancy car and tell them what you do for a living.
Much, you need to like wine them and dine them. Like,
yeah.
Really good wine, really good food, really nice gifts. And they can
quality. Like you can't give them some cheap knockoff shit. You're done.
They like nice things. And it's not as superficial as Venus and Libra, but it's still there's a very much a love is a material item. Love is something that can be bought and sold in a sort of weird way, but not really. But
they're really loyal. Like
they really are, and they're possessive. You are mine.
Right. Mine. I mean, they're not going like if they fall in love and they've decided that that's who they want to be with. Like if you're like down on your luck, they're not gonna skip out the door. Because they're already all in. They've already invested in it, and so it's important to them, and they're going to stick around. But if you come at them like, with no car and no job, that's not nobody wants that shit.
No.
Nobody wants that. Not just Venus and Taurus. Nobody wants that shit.
They're really sweet though, for the most part. It's a fixed energy, so they don't let go all that much. And yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. It's like being married to a boulder.
Yeah, not very flexible, right? No. And you're probably gonna do it in the same position for the rest of your lives.
No, that's not true.
Listen, my mother-in-law is
Taurus and Taurus is like, will you just lay still and let me fuck, please?
My mother-in-law is Venus is in Taurus, and she was like telling my husband something one time, and she was like, and they were doing it like dogs. So I'm pretty sure she doesn't realize there's other positions.
Oh my God. Okay, next.
Okay.
Venus and Gemini. I kind of like them. They have a bad reputation.
You can have all of them.
Yeah, they have a bad reputation for getting bored very quickly.
They need a lot of intellectual stimulation. If you want to amaze them, you need to give them some interesting intellectual fodder to chew on.
Well, I mean, Venus is what you love, and Gemini is communication. They love communication. They love talking.
Just ask them a lot of questions, and you'll just have them eating out of the palm of your hand.
Yeah, the Venus and Geminis that I know, well, no, I was about to say that they're actually fairly loyal, but I was like, well, no, now that I really think about it, Unless there's like some Pluto involved, and you see that sometimes with the, the Pluto in Virgo or the Pluto in Sagittarius generation. But
it's pretty fickle, shallow placement.
Yeah, well, they like variety. And sometimes that means a variety of body parts from different people.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of signs that I really just feel like should be polyamorous.
Yeah. Gemini's good. I don't know. They like me. Their Venus falls in my first house. They tend to just crawl all over me like fire ants. But anyway, Venus in Cancer.
All right. They'll do anything for you. They will mother you, and they will bring you chicken noodle soup, and they will just go garden with them. Just be like, hey, let's have a gardening date. They're gonna love that.
Virgo does that a lot too, actually.
But like, they're they love their home and their family, and that's so valuable to them. So if you like take them to like a cooking class or something.
They love sentimentality.
Yeah, and they're great long-term partners. Like, they prefer to be in long-term, solid, loving relationships.
Okay, so Venus and Cancer in a man, a lot of times they like really big boobs. They like mothery things, mothery partners. When Venus and Cancer says "I love you," what they're really saying is, "I want to make a baby with you." I'm not kidding. There's a very cleany there's a cleany side to Venus and Cancer, and I've seen it and witnessed it. And
has a Venus and Cancer told you that they love you? They probably poked holes in the condom. There's like a little mic out there running around.
No, there's a whole story behind that, and I'm not going to get into that here.
Okay. See how he looks down. We're not going to talk about that.
But it was when I lost interest. Holy shit, it got bad. But also, Scorpio moon as well. I was getting voicemails like, "Pick up the phone."
Yeah, that's different. We'll get into that later.
Yeah,
okay. We're gonna go on and on when we get to Venus to Scorpio, because we both have Venus and Scorpio, so but they sulk. Like, the Venus and Cancer people will sulk, and it can be really like if you hurt them, they're gonna be like really defensive and then like aloof. There's a lot of emotional games going on there. They're not subtle games. They're very overt.
Yeah, no, they're really not. That goes for the men and the women. So Venus has a lot to do with how you relate to other people, and it rules your friendships as well. And they're emotive. They emote, and they're kind of babies.
My oldest is a Venus in Cancer. And she will parent. I mean, like, I think if this ship went down, if I wasn't here, she could like totally parent her brother and sister. But like, if she doesn't like something, everybody knows about it.
Yeah. Moving on to the next sign, Venus and Leo.
Yeah, so
they are snappy dressers.
Yeah.
For the most part, what I've seen, they like to be noticed, and they like to show off their partner, and they're for the most part really loyal
and very romantic.
Yeah,
big displays of romanticism. Touch-feely, like they want to hug you and kiss you all the time, and
they want to hug. No, they want to hug you and kiss you in front of other people.
Okay, well, fine.
They are going to have the most dramatic, loving Facebook profile pictures of like okay, so there's this one girl I know. She already had her damn baby, but she was pregnant, and her profile picture is her baby daddy kissing her stomach, and it's like perfectly photographed, and it's just so I don't even know. It's just so much. It's a lot, and they really want you to put all your attention on them.
That's one big thing. They have to be number one. And the second they don't feel like they're number one anymore, you got bad news.
You got some problems ahead of you.
You got some problems. They're gonna be super jealous. But if you want to seduce one,
it's just like a Leo moon. Yeah, it's just like a Leo moon.
Just flatter them.
Or look good in public with them.
Yeah, and tell them they look oh no, but you look so nice. You do.
They tend to like kind of gaudy stuff too.
Don't you feel like that's more of an ascendant thing?
No, because Venus has a lot to do with aesthetics. Second house, Libra, Taurus, aesthetics. They tend to value really flat. That's why I said they're flashy dressers. And they're the ones that have the coffee cups that are like have the the really trashy looking gold lining on it and says "I'm a bad bitch." I'm not kidding.
Do they wear like those pants that said "juicy" on the ass like 10 years ago?
Or the shirts that say "cum dumpster."
I have not seen those, but I'm sure they exist.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Venus.
Why one would wear a shirt that says that?
Venus and Virgo.
Okay.
You know a lot more about. I know a bit about it, but you know a lot about it. I think they're sweet, but they don't really like do it for me all that much. But I like them.
We were talking about this or before we started the episode. We were talking about this last night because okay. So here's where we were talking about how men tend to want their Venus in their partner. They still show it, but they want it in their partner. So my ascendant is Virgo, but my husband's Venus is in Virgo. So I'm like his perfect woman.
Well, like I said, Venus is what you love, and the ascendant is your body. And I mean, he loves your body.
They will show you love. They are like the acts of service. Like if you do the love language thing, their love language is acts of service. They will make sure that you have what you need. If you get sick, these are the best people to take care of you, other than maybe a Venus in Cancer, but they might cry if you don't appreciate it. But Venus and Virgo people will serve you.
Yeah, well, it's a little more than that. They like to be practically helpful. Like, it comes through in friendships because I've never been in a relationship with somebody who had Venus and Virgo, for the most part. But I've had a lot of really close friends, and the way that they show their love. Like, one friend of mine, she saw that I didn't have dishes at my apartment. Oh yeah, I'll just loan you all my dishes. Give them back, but for the time that I know you, you can use all of my dishes.
Yeah.
My buddy, when I was locked up. He got money on his commissary, and we weren't even in the same dorm, so he would literally smuggle, stuff like coffee and stuff like that, and just give it to me. Like, just, go, man. I know you
my grandmother, her Venus in Virgo is very, very stereotypical of it, I think, because she's all those things, like the doing things for you and the giving you things, and she'll keep things in her house just in case, like, I need them at some point in time. But they also are critical, and they don't mean to be rude about it, but
Virgo energy.
They'll let you know when something is not how it should be, and they're doing it to be helpful. Sometimes it's not so helpful.
They love organization, even if they aren't organized. They love organization. It's just very aesthetically pleasing to them to see things that are symmetrical. They love cleanliness. They think even if they're not that clean themselves, because it's just something that they appreciate. It's interesting. They like clean people. They like people that smell nice. They like people that take baths. Well, okay, that's weird though, because who doesn't like people that take baths?
Okay, so it's Venus and Virgo women, and Venus and Virgo women tend to be more high maintenance women, and men with their Venus and Virgo tend to want a woman that's more high maintenance. He might tease her about it, but when she like comes out of the bathroom like perfectly groomed, he appreciates that shit.
Venus in Libra.
They're super charming.
They okay, so they love. Yeah, even if they aren't really in love.
These are your serial monogamous people. Like
always
relationship after another.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Serial monogamous. They love. It's kind of like a Libra moon where they just love pleasantness.
Yeah, so don't think that you guys are gonna like sit down and have like a big heart-to-heart like confrontation kind of thing.
You can.
Oh, really? Are you gonna stay with them after that?
I know a lot of them actually. Venus and Libra, they fall in my 5th house. I've been involved romantically with several Venus and Libra. Depending on their moon sign, they will have a heart-to-heart with you about stuff. But let's say it's like a bunch of super heavy air and earth in their chart, they're kind of going to be like, But if other factors are in play, Venus in Libra is not necessarily shallow. They're just sort of kind of codependent, maybe. Like I said, serial monogamous. They're not terribly codependent, but they love relationships over anything. It's a key component to their self-esteem.
So that super cute pencil sharpener that we saw a little while ago, that's a Venus in Libra, and they are usually very attractive people because Venus rules Libra.
Venus is in domicile in Libra, yes.
Yeah, and Taurus. So they usually are more attractive people also.
Venus in Scorpio.
Mwah.
Oh boy.
So you and I both have the same, even the same Venus Pluto conjunction in Scorpio.
We do.
But this is where it comes into play, where you will see them functioning a little differently.
There is a lot of extreme similarities, though.
But the common thread is that when we love something, it is ours. And don't try to get away from it because we love it. And and if it's crazy and dramatic, we love it even more.
Venus and Scorpio falls in love slowly. But when they do become attached, it is really, 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 really intense.
See, we're just friends, but we talk every day. And then Mike was kind of a turd to me when he was on vacation. And so then I was like a passive aggressive turd back. And that's very typical. Because we're like, excuse me, this is like not how this is supposed to go.
We have to talk every day.
Yeah, we kind of do.
It's kind of.
Well, apparently you don't, because when you're on vacation.
Yeah, see, with every other Venus sign, this wouldn't be an issue.
I mean, apparently being at the beach is more important than saying hi to me. Whatever.
I get a text from you every morning. Every morning.
Sometimes it's you texting me, so don't act like
that's true.
You told me.
That's true.
Okay, so anyway.
Really intense. Okay, so there's a bad side to it though. So when they go after somebody they want, it's aggressive, but it's subvertly aggressive. The other person will notice it. But
it's like, hey, I found this song that I think you would really like. That's like the beginning.
No, it's like them finding out where you go all the time and tracking you and making sure that they set situations up so that they're at the same place at the same time as you. And yeah, it's crazy. It's difficult. It's worse for Venus conjunct Pluto because Venus conjunct Pluto is fucking insane. But
if they decide they love you and you are one of their people, and you try to like have some space or whatever, like that's gonna upset them. They want the same amount of devotion they give, and you and I are probably worse examples of it because you have a moon sign that demands attention, and then my moon is in Scorpio, so it's very obsessive. So
I won't ask for it though. Pluto and Venus and Scorpio will not really
you
ask.
won't ask for it? Are you kidding me? Do you know how many times you get on Skype and you're like, don't I look good today? Look at my hair. I just got my hair cut.
Oh, okay, look.
Is my beard looking?
They're not going to be like blowing up your phone going, pay attention to me, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. They're not going to say it like that. They're going to just get mad if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really it's exhausting.
And I think they're kind of drawn to like the secret love affairs or whatever's taboo in
love triangles.
Yeah, or whatever's taboo in love relationships. They have to go and explore it.
Yeah, people say that it has to do with like BDSM and stuff like that. And no, it's really not like that. It's more just like things that are secret and like affairs. Affairs are a big thing for Venus and Scorpio. I also have noticed something, but I forgot.
So there's my Gemini rising.
So the thing about Venus and Scorpio though is if they're in love, they're extremely loyal, very devoted. They will fight for you. Moon and Scorpio will too, but Venus and Scorpio, they will march their ass into a bar and beat the crap out of somebody for talking shit about, somebody they love.
Yeah. But on the flip side, once they're done, there's no reconciliation. Like once you have betrayed them or hurt them, or they're just done for whatever reason.
That's not always true. If they really love you, they'll reconcile. But they have this the revenge. Revenge is kind of a thing.
I love when you tell me something's not true when I have the placement and I've done it. I love it. Moving on, Venus and Sag.
Okay, so I will say something about Venus and Sagittarius because I know a lot of people that have them. I've been involved with people that have them, have that sign placement, and actually, I've had people say some really fucked up things about Venus and Sagittarius, saying that they're flaky and they're not loyal, and that for some people can be true, but I'm not gonna lie. One of the nicest people, most devoted, loyal people I've ever met has Venus and Sagittarius. I'm just saying. But
more than one example?
Well, there's that one girl that I was dating that had Venus Sagittarius, and she tried to ruin my life.
So I feel like they prefer a less intense relating style.
No, that's not true. They like intense experiences with their partner, but they don't like the intensity of the actual relationship.
That's what I mean when I say relating style.
Okay, fine, you're right. But like their relating style is that I want to go on an adventure. I want to go to a foreign country. I want to go experience things with you. They like that. They love that. They can't get enough of that shit. They love anything that is consciousness expanding. They tend to have very, I wouldn't say always gregarious personalities, but they love gregariousness.
Do you think that they dislike responsibility, like too much pressure in a relationship?
Pressure on the relationship? Sometimes, not always. My dad has it, and my dad's actually very into his relationships.
He also has Pluto on the ascendant?
No, he's got Pluto square Venus.
Oh, okay.
That's where the aspects come into play.
All right.
He's got Saturn on the descendant though.
I don't know. I mean, yes, they do love the adventurousness. They are really independent. They are going to love these like intellectual, philosophical conversations, or like in Mike's world, they're going to want to go take, mushrooms with you.
The women tend to be actually kind of flighty. The women are worse than the men. Actually, it's worse to see Venus and Sagittarius on a woman's chart than it is a man's. And a man's, it's kind of cool. And a woman's, you're like, oh, she's gonna be really fun until it's not, and then she's gonna be. The minute you try to call her your girlfriend, shit's just gonna. Shit.
So this should be called like bar hopping through the signs. Like, are you going to the bar to like, find a new wife, or are you going to the bar for like a one night stand? Which sign do you want to? Let me just have your birth date so I can see if you're gonna like wreck my car someday.
They're not looking to be wiped up.
No.
For the most part.
Although my sister-in-law is, it does have her Venus in Sag, and I see the flight. Obviously she is wiped up, but I do see the flightiness there. Not a super dependable kind of person.
Venus and Capricorn. They want stability. They want somebody who's got something to offer. Everything's a contract to them, or at least relationships are a contract.
Yes, marriage is a great tax write-off.
They value something like they view relationships as an investment. So if you ain't got no job, if you ain't got no prospects, if you're not at least in college, no, Shotty don't want no scrub. Scrub is a man who can't get no love from me, hanging out the passenger side of his friend's ride.
Stop, or I'm gonna sing a song. Okay, all right. They also don't really appreciate public displays of affection.
No, they do not. Saturn. All about Saturn. They can obviously use relationships to get ahead in life, but not really, not always. They view relationships in a really traditional way. They want a relationship that's going to actually help them and assist them in terms of their life. I mean, obviously, sexual attraction is important for everybody, but they view relationships in an overly, in my opinion, overly practical way.
And they're very dependable because divorce is too expensive.
They're very dependable. They want a marriage partner they can look respectable with.
Yes.
Respectable. Like perfect family photos.
Yes.
Yes. Capricorn.
Okay. Like they're really good at budgeting because Venus has to do with money and resources as well as your love style. So they're pretty frugal and like they spend their money well, not frivolously. They usually live in, I mean, it's not like they're going to live in a hovel at all, but it's not going to be like a super aesthetically beautiful designed home. It's going to be more practical and functional kind of home.
You know what's interesting to me? I'm wondering what the, because with Pluto running through Capricorn, I'm wondering what the Venus conjunct Pluto and Capricorn people are going to be like when they grow up. Because Venus conjunct Pluto already has a reputation for using money to manipulate. They do.
You know what, though? It probably is going to be pretty intense because right now we're entering into this era where a college degree is not a guarantee of a job. And there's all these people with like student loan debt and it's harder for them to find like really stable employment. Like it's not like, you know, the era that my grandparents grew up in or even that we grew up in.
I think it's interesting because that Pluto is generational, and what Pluto's doing in each sign has a huge impact upon the entire generation's view of the world. And so the Venus conjunct Pluto people in Capricorn are going to understand the necessity of just legitimately, like, it's Saturn. Saturn's all about, you know, hard work and fear of not having enough. And because of the society we live in right now, with the issues related to student loans and college, like you said, not being a guarantee, or, you know, not being able to guarantee employment, they're going to really take that to heart. That particular generation is going to really take that to heart.
Well, and they've probably been raised with parents who they have either seen it on a conscious level or as small children on a subconscious level, seen them go through the recession. We need to do like Pluto. We need to go over Pluto and how it's affecting us generationally in the more recent generations. But anyway,
I actually really like that.
Yeah, Venus in Aquarius.
I have a lot to say about Venus in Aquarius. A lot to say.
None of it's good.
No,
okay, I can think of some good things to say, but I'm biased against it. You have your say. Go for it, Mike.
I mean, I'm biased for the same reason as you.
Oh, well, do we both have bad experiences?
Multiple. Venus
in Aquarius.
Venus in Aquarius is really variable, though. I'm not going to lie. The aspects make a big difference with Venus in Aquarius. If it's aspected in a certain way, or I feel
like you're cussing me out when you keep doing this.
Well, Venus in Aquarius kind of has screwed with my life before, the way that they do things. Yeah. But if it's lacking certain aspects, like if there's no aspects to Saturn, no aspects to Pluto, stuff like that, they have a really high proclivity for having affairs.
Yeah, pretty much. That's yeah.
that's a thing.
And saying that they're selling coke to strippers, but they're actually going to the strip club. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do that too. Mm-hmm. And then they forget your anniversary.
Well, okay, so Venus and Aquarius, their style of relating is very detached. They view relationships as a friendship, and that and okay, so we're going to be really biased because of our objective experiences as Venus and Scorpios. So Venus and Aquarius, they make great friends as lovers. They don't like anything that is too traditional. So. Yeah.
They like individuals. They're really like friendly and sociable, and they like to collect a lot of different kinds of people. Like their social circle is going to range all through the extremes.
Unless it's not, and then they're going to feel really bad about not having a wide social circle. It'll screw with their self-esteem a lot.
Look, I don't have any gay friends.
They like off-the-wall people. They do. They really enjoy it. They appreciate, they love individuality. And another thing about them is, when it comes to the affair thing, when they tend to have affairs, and I've witnessed this more than once, my mother, for one, other people that I've been involved with, I see it. The only times I don't see it is when their Venus is being aspected by Pluto or Saturn. Then this trait seems to disappear. But Venus in Aquarius fetishizes affairs where nobody gets caught. They don't want to leave their partner.
They're really good at it too.
Yeah, they're fucking great at keeping.
Like, I never caught mine after 4 years until the very end. One time when my friends tried to tell me, and I was like, whatever. He would never do that.
One of my really close friends, before he finally got divorced, and he didn't get divorced because of cheating. She never found out. He was having affairs with 4 different people at the same time. He had no intent. Like, when Venus in Aquarius has affairs, it's not because they want to leave who they're with. It's still a fixed sign. They still don't just, like, let go of love easily. They're gonna go do their own fucking.
Sparkly and new.
Huh?
It's sparkly and new.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They love anything that's cutting edge technology. They love it. They're whenever
Like,
you're
if you bedazzle your vagina, they will love
it. Well, when they're thinking of, like, the perfect place to live, unless they've got some real traditional, like, heavy earth, they're usually, what they view as being really attractive in terms of, like, interior design and stuff is, like, ultra sleek, modern, like base, like, metallic blacks, metallic whites. They like
extremely trendy dressers.
Sometimes.
Oh, well, Venus being aesthetic and Aquarius being, like, cutting. Yeah, they do. So, like, my ex, for example, he would have to, like, match, like, everything had to be the same brand, like, from shirt down to shoes. And, like, if he went and bought a new pair of tennis shoes, then, like, half the time he would go buy, like, the little boy size that would fit me, so we could, like, match shoes. So he would also dress me. Like, if he had one of his, like, buddies' girlfriends was, like, selling some of her clothes and he thought they were cute, like, he would just bring me home clothes because he's like, oh, this would look so good on you. It's like, thanks. Okay, I guess I'll wear that.
It really creeped me out.
I guess I'll wear that dress that looks like a baseball jersey.
Oh no. Oh no. Like, if you're gonna give me clothes, you better just give me money to buy my own damn clothes. No.
But on the good side, he would, like, make sure I had money to get my nails done. Because, I needed to have my nails done. All right. Anyway, they are really sociable and friendly people. Just make sure you get your STD checks every 3 to 6 months and you'll be good.
Actually, that's actually important. I'm not going to lie. Because Aquarius, when they have affairs, they're really good at hiding it. They're really fucking good at hiding it. It's so bizarre. Like, they're not having affairs. They're not really having affairs. They're just cheating.
They're just fucking around. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they... Like, that meme, no thank you, I only fuck my friends.
Yeah.
Venus in the 11th house does that too. Okay, so anyway, they've got some good qualities. They tend to stay in relationships for a long time. They're not really going to leave you unless you make them leave you.
Right, because they can just get whatever they want strange on the side, and it's...
Oh my god, you're so bitter over it. I was bitter for a while too, because my shit got fucked up by Venus. If you start to get real too emotional, too clingy, too touchy-feely, they are going to push you away. They do not like that. They do not like too clingy. They do not like too emotionally intense.
Maybe that's why he cheated on me, because my Venus in Scorpio was just, like, way too much.
But yet they still get jealous.
Oh my god. So, okay, we have to move on, but I'm going to just say, like, I could not even wear tops that showed cleavage outside the house because that was his.
Where was his Mars?
I have to go look. I was just looking up stuff for Venus, and I'm not gonna sit here and think about what my ex-boyfriend from 15 years ago's placements all are. All right.
Venus and Pisces.
My best friend's Venus is in Pisces, and it explains all of her shit. Just ignore the whole rest of her chart. That right there. Her Mars is conjunct Venus.
Venus in the 12th house actually operates relatively similar, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does kind of. So these people will go continuously through this cycle of meeting somebody, idealizing the shit out of them, and then becoming completely disillusioned when they are not what they thought they were. But they'll forgive it because they're very forgiving and compassionate people, but they'll just cry about it inside.
Oh, yeah. They'll always take them back. That's what the worst thing about it is. And they do sort of kind of, and it sounds weird, and I didn't really notice this until recently, but Venus, 12th house, Venus and Pisces, they obsess. They actually obsess because they'll obsess over the fantasy of who you are.
Yeah.
It's a darker form of obsession with Scorpio.
They love romance. Like they love sappy movies, and they love getting roses, and they love all of that stuff is just
They love to rescue people. They love people that need fixing. They love people that have been through stuff. They love people that have drug addiction problems, even though it's not really, but they say they don't, but he's such a good person and he's going to get better. I just know he is.
Yeah, the martyr syndrome is hardcore with most
and I'm going to help them.
Placements, actually.
You can evolve past it, though.
Everybody can evolve past everything, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But you have to have somebody who's really willing to take a look at their patterns.
Mm-hmm. Cheating is, believe it or not, definitely a Venus and Pisces kind of thing as well. But it's different than Venus and Aquarius. It's more of they have affairs.
Yeah,
They'll be in a relationship. They'll be in a relationship. They'll get disillusioned with the relationship they're in, and then they won't leave. But they will find somebody new, and then all of a sudden they'll begin to idealize them too because they're addicted to the imagination of it. And then before you know it, they're banging in the back seat of a Volkswagen Jetta behind Subway. Sorry, that was pretty vivid.
I feel like this is a personal experience. The way you just pulled those specifics out like that.
Yeah. And I hate to backtrack, but Venus in Cancer has the most boring vanilla sex. But anyway, I'm just...
Would you like to make a list of names now?
I can. I thought about it for a little bit, and I was like, oh, wow.
Okay, let's do that. Who do you think? So Mars is more sex. But if you had to pin down Venus, like the most fun sexual or good sex versus bad sex signs. We won't go through all of them, but like, what do you think are the best ones and the worst ones for Venus?
You're going to be mad at me because I just talked mad shit on what one of my answers is going to be.
Okay.
Actually, Venus and Aquarius.
You think it's best?
Not the best, but I actually like it.
No. No.
Venus and Aquarius and Venus and probably Leo or Aries.
Okay, so I totally disagree with your Aquarius one.
You had a bad experience, and he had a fucking Cancer moon.
You did?
Yeah, he did.
I don't even remember this. I don't know.
I don't know how I remember it, but I remember it.
I'm gonna have to go look at this. Okay.
I'm gonna be right.
I don't even remember his birthday right now. How do you remember his moon sign?
He was a Capricorn, wasn't he?
Yes.
He was a later one, though. He was January.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Anyway.
Venus and Scorpio are obviously the best in bed.
Venus and Scorpio. Well, you know what's the funny thing? Is I don't come across a lot of other Venus and Scorpios, and when I do, it doesn't turn into anything. Yeah.
Well, can we just tell people that we're the best?
Oh yeah, I think
I mean, it's our channel.
People get addicted to me. People get addicted to me. But anyway.
Worst.
Right,
Worst in bed.
Look. Oh, worst?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I was about to say that. Or
Cancer might like cry on you a little.
Pisces kind of like it bothers me. I don't know why. I don't like the other water Venuses. I like Scorpio Venus, but I don't like Cancer and Pisces
You
Venus.
know what? But because Scorpio is just so different because it's traditionally Mars ruled, so it has so much in common with Aries.
Yeah, I like Aries Venus a lot.
Didn't you say that they had, or no, it was Mars that had the big dicks according to the sex worker lady?
No, I said that Mars and Aries has
not Venus.
really, really veiny ones.
Veiny, that's what it was. You had a formula. Somebody told you for you had it. Didn't you have somebody tell you like some formula she'd come up with for penis size?
Oh yeah, and she's fucking wrong. So because I have none of those aspects.
Look, you can't decide that any more than you can decide like how tall somebody is or what ring size they wear based on their chart.
Yeah, you can't trump genetics. Sorry. But anyway, so
okay, I'm not even gonna go there. Okay,
we're past the signs now.
In the houses.
In the aspects.
All right. So the houses. First house, especially conjunct the ascendant or on the midheaven, but are very beautiful people typically. Like Angelina Jolie has her Venus on the midheaven. I think Kim Kardashian, I hate her, but she's pretty. She has it on the midheaven.
Yeah, I can go through this really fast. Look, I'm going to tell you this really fast.
Okay.
Mars on the midheaven or 10th house, or 10th house is really good looking in the public eye. Venus in the 10th house is really good looking in the public eye. Venus in the first house is just beautiful in general. They wear Venus on their sleeve. Venus in the second is kind of materialistic. Venus in the third, they love dirty talk and deep conversations. Venus in the fourth house is a total homebody and they like being mothered. Venus in the fifth house, they like excitement, they like gambling, they like going out to eat, they like partying. Not necessarily all that bad, but just adventure stuff. Fifth house, Leo stuff. Venus in the sixth house, they will do shit for you, just like a Venus in Virgo. And they're also can be kind of critical of people if you don't return the favor, unfortunately. Venus in the seventh house, super codependent, and they always have to be in a relationship. It's got the Venus and Libra vibe. Venus in the eighth house, they want to suck your soul out during sex. Venus in the ninth house, they like to learn things with their partner. They love knowledge. They love travel. It's like a Venus Sagittarius vibe. We already went over the midheaven and 10th house. They look good in the public eye. Venus in the 11th house, that's a cheater placement like a motherfucker. They will fuck all their fucking friends. They will fuck your friends too. Venus in the 12th house is kind of obsessive. It is a bad place to have Venus because substance abuse is a big problem. They will fall in love with you if you're in prison. They will pen pal write you, and they will develop this whole fantasy of how you and their life is going to be after you get released from prison. They attract people with problems, and there we go. That was fast, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, what else am I going to say?
Is there anything that you disagree with?
No, not entirely. I mean, maybe a little.
Which one?
The 12th house. I don't think that they always are not, I shouldn't say always, but I don't think that substance abuse is particularly like a thing with Venus in the 12th house.
All the ones that I know have an issue with it.
I mean, my grandmother has Venus and Virgo in the 12th house.
Yeah, but that's debatable because if you switch over to whole sign, it's in the first.
Yeah, but she has a really late ascendant.
True.
So anyway, I don't think that's true. I do think it's harder for them to express in a, express their love or to receive it, one or the other.
Yeah, it's never enough. The 12th house is a bottomless pit.
That's true. I totally agree with that. Okay, so aspecting. When you have Venus aspected with Saturn or Pluto, both of those are going to highly modify the Venus placement. Like Saturn, whatever the natural tendency is to it, it's going to damp it down. And Pluto is going to like turn on the obsessive nature of whatever it is.
Yeah. Mercury being an aspect to Venus will usually make it, well, if it's good or a conjunction, it usually makes somebody very charming. They can communicate the most charming, pleasant side of their personality very effectively.
Venus Moon, too. Venus Moon people.
Venus Moon are sweet. They're really sweet people. They really are. Especially the trine, the conjunction. The square, not so much. The opposition, not quite so much. The in conjunction between the moon and Venus might have a little bit of problems with women. Just self-esteem problems, bad. Mars and Venus, that's sexy as fuck and can be also passive aggressive. But usually, especially Mars conjunct Venus, those are really attractive people. The Sun conjunct Venus. I know how this one works pretty well, but do you?
I do, but you seem like you really have things to say, so you say your things.
I'm sorry, I'm just knocking through this shit. The Sun conjunct Venus, it depends on the sign. If it's a sign where the Sun is stronger, like Aries or Leo, then the person's ego, they will take their relationships and throw them to the side in favor of their ego, their life direction, what they want to do. They will end relationships to go start a new career. They don't care. They will put their ego first. If it's the opposite, if Venus is really strong in a sign, so like let's say it's Sun conjunct Venus in Libra or Pisces where Venus is exalted or Taurus, then they will actually sacrifice themselves for the relationship.
Another little smidget here about Venus is if it is squaring the ascendant, these people always have really bad self-esteem problems. My best friend, who is like absolutely like describe her gorgeousness. Right?
She's fucking beautiful.
Beautiful, and she is terribly insecure about the way she looks. Which is just insane.
What about squaring the midheaven?
I think it's going to have more to do with how the public sees them than how they see themselves.
Yeah, insecure about how the world looks at them. I have that aspect. But, so, yeah, if you
What a horrible thing. Here your little Leo moon needs all the love and admiration, and then your Venus is squaring your midheaven. Nobody likes me.
Anyway, so we also have Venus-Jupiter aspects.
Those are super lucky.
They have boundary issues. They will jump headfirst into relationships really fast with the best of intentions, and then I won't say they'll necessarily jump right out, but they'll be like 4 years down the road and be like, I should have really thought this through.
Okay, so like
they usually have lots of friends too.
Yeah, because they're super likable, and they're just very popular people generally. I mean, unless Venus is otherwise really badly aspected, poorly placed, they're really likable. So like, this is kind of funny.
Freddie Mercury had Venus conjunct Jupiter.
Yeah, so my son has Venus conjunct Jupiter, and I really, when the lottery was really high, I like took him to the gas station and like I handed him $2. He's 4, and I'm like, hand the nice man the money, so maybe it'll be like he's buying the ticket because he's luckier. It didn't work. I obviously have not won the lottery.
So he's not that lucky.
Well, apparently the universe didn't see it as him buying the ticket.
Does he have Venus conjunct Jupiter in the 8th house?
I think it's in the 9th. It depends on if you use whole or Placidus.
It doesn't matter. You don't gotta look it up. It's okay.
Okay.
Venus Uranus.
Ooh.
Strange relationships.
Yeah, these are your non-monogamists. Right.
No, be monogamous. I see them as I see a lot of bi-curious.
Yeah, or they're those girls in the pornos that are doing the gangbang ones.
Maybe with the female. With the male, I see like, I think this guy might be doing something with dudes on the down low, and I've seen it come through a lot. Venus and Aquarius men have that reputation as well. Venus and Gemini, they say they do, but I don't really see it as much. Weirdly enough, Venus and Aquarius, I see it a lot.
Well, people think anything Gemini is all about duality, and to some extent, but
it's just mercurial.
It's mercurial, but it doesn't necessarily mean there's a duality there, like bisexuality.
I see it with Gemini Moon and Ascendants a lot, though. But
all right,
not really the Venus as much. So yeah, the Venus Uranus aspects, they're kind of a wild card. They like the freedom to love, and love. They can be in monogamous relationships.
Let's talk about the Venus and Neptune people.
Oh no, it's just like Venus and Pisces or Venus in the 12th house. They okay, it's actually worse. I'm not gonna lie, especially the square. They get so fixated on an idea, like a dream for how their world's gonna be, and with like I would only be happy if, like I'll be completely happy if this were to be true, or if this were to be true, or if this were to happen. And they have dreams, and they will literally, and they'll usually be delusional dreams, and they will fight for these dreams. And when somebody else is like looking at it objectively, you're just like,
I don't mind the sextile or very much at all. The trine is art. These are usually really artistic people. They can have make some beautiful art. They have beautiful homes. I mean, I know a lot of tattoo artists that have Venus in aspects to Neptune.
no.
Yeah.
I noticed from one particular story, one of my former friends who has a Venus square Neptune. So like when he moved, after he finally, finished up his legal issues and he moved, everything was gonna be perfect. Like I'm gonna be completely happy. I'm gonna do yoga. I'm gonna surf. My drug problems are gonna just disappear. And if you try to like
a Venus squared in Neptune thought their drug problems were gonna disappear. That's funny.
As soon as like their situation changed a little bit, all of a sudden all their problems were just going to disappear, and they were going to be totally perfect happy. I'm going to be surrounded by beautiful women, and I'm going to do yoga and surf and not be addicted to cocaine anymore. And if you tried to like put a little bit of reasoning into those statements, no, they get mad, like mad. Neptune does not like the truth. Neptune does not like realism. They are addicted to their fantasies. So Venus and Saturn can be kind of cold.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It damps down whatever those tendencies are whenever it touches them. It restricts. That's your key word with Saturn.
Yeah, well, in Hellenistic astrology, it big restricts your relationships. It's just and restricts your money. But it doesn't really always do that, because people with those aspects, they will come into money, they will have relationships, but they tend to just Saturn and hard aspect of Venus also creates a lot of self-esteem issues.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that.
Feeling like they're never good enough, or it's pretty rough. But they tend to be very stable partners for the most part. So Venus Pluto.
Just tack on the word obsession and you're good. You figured it out.
You take you take the meaning of the sign and Venus in that sign, and then you put obsession in front of it and manipulative in front of it.
Just go play that garbage song that's like, I would die for you. And get yourself a bottle of Jack Daniels, and there you go.
You know what was crazy? Remember the Royal Tenenbaums?
Yeah, and I remember it vaguely. You reference it all the time. I need to go watch it again so I can remember what you're referencing.
Luke Wilson was in love with his adopted sister, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Luke Wilson went into a severe depression when she married some other guy, and he ended up freaking out so bad he tried to kill himself because the pain was too much. And that's a famous scene, and it made sense to look at Luke Wilson's actual chart, and he has Venus conjunct Pluto.
Is he the one that killed himself, or was it the other one, Owen?
No, either of them killed themselves. They're both still alive. But Luke Wilson...
Didn't one of them have some really bad depressive issues then?
I think Owen Wilson did in real life. Luke Wilson, I don't think does. But in the movie, he definitely tried to kill himself. He slashed...
I know for sure in the movie. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, either way... so that's a pretty cool little. I think that was a pretty cool little dissertation, a lengthy dissertation of Venus and how it operates. Like I said,
and side plug, they should also go watch your video about Venus in retrograde in the natal chart.
Yes, I do have a video about that. Venus is cool. It's just like if you can understand how somebody's Venus works and how they relate to other people, what they find beautiful, it can give you a little bit of an upper hand in understanding them. And if you're trying to seduce them, just knowing is half the battle. Knowing how they are.
Yeah, some are more easily fooled than others.
Shut up.
Well, I didn't say we were. We are. We totally are. Okay. So, yeah.
So, thank you so much for tuning in to Outrage Astrology. If you want to get a hold of me or Brittany, you can contact us via email at the links below. We do accept donations via CashApp and PayPal to allow us to continue producing phenomenal content for y'all guys. And we come out with episodes weekly or bi-weekly. So keep tuned. We're always producing wonderful content for y'all guys. And
we'll see you next time.
my name is Mike.
And I'm Brittany.